What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin yet again. It is the 22nd day of July, and here we are in our nice little range. At the low end of this range, sitting at 00361 with roughly 10 hours and 40 minutes left in this day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, okay? It is looking like OnyxCoin wants to drop. It is looking like it wants to go lower. We've seen this before, right? Just imagine here. Imagine here, you're expecting a double bottom, and we did get the double bottom, nice Adam and Eve recovery, but it gave itself back, and now you're here. You're either going to bounce or you're not going to bounce, and instead we grinded this level out. And then what happened? What happened was we ripped right through the frickin' roof, right? That doesn't mean that here we are being boring, that we have to rip through the roof. But OnyxCoin does this, where it will be consolidating in a phase for a while. It will be boring, and at its most bleak, where it looks like it's about to go lower, boom, that's when it rips in your face. That's whenever it rips. That's whenever it rips. And here, it's been a second since we've seen a rip like that, of that magnitude, of anything near that sort. And there's been a few developments that have come out. I do expect that in this area there's been some accumulation, and that we will see a move. The question is not, will we see a move? That's already coded in there. I think we are going to see a move. It's going to be a nice move. Probably, if I had to guess, something that's above 006. But the question is, how high is the move going to be? Are we just going to stop here? Are we going to get up here? Are we going to see a higher high? Ideally, we would see a higher high. If we can get a higher high, likely the area that we'd push to would be about 1 cent, which from here, 1 cent, it's almost a 3x. It's 170% growth. It's not bad. And as cool as that is, 170, 180% growth, as cool as that is, the coolest thing is that we'd see a higher high, which on a macro scale, we have not seen since the beginning, since the peak of last cycle, right? We haven't seen a higher high. Yes, this high was higher than that high. That doesn't count. This high was higher than that high. This high was higher than this high. That's not, it's relative highs are not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about macro highs, and you can see as we scale this down, we're getting these macro highs in a more or less straight trajectory. If we can break that cycle, the reason why it's big is because of two things. One, again, it'd be the first time we've seen that since January or earlier of 2025, okay? First time we've seen a break of that structure in itself. Second to that, it really sets us up for a higher low, an effective higher low. And even third to that, what it does is it makes this whole area, this whole entire area look like a accumulation zone, which I've theorized for a while now. Since we came back down here, I've theorized that we were in an accumulation phase. The issue is here we are seeing lower lows, but again, when we dropped to lower lows, we didn't really break out that far. We're still around this area for our lows. We're not really that far away. The reason why is because there's nobody left to sell. That's my theory. Like, drop down here, the dudes that bought here, and the ladies and the dudes that bought here, if the price drops here, they're not selling, right? They've had their chance to sell. They've had their chance to sell. They had their chance, like if they wanted to get out. And it's not that there won't be any selling. Of course, if you move down, there's got to be some selling. But maybe that's just people taking staking rewards. Maybe it's some people who bought here and told themselves that if it moves down, then they're just going to sell on principle, whatever. But again, I think the selling pressure is going to be very, very minimal. It doesn't take a lot of money to move the price down a lot, okay? We could definitely see a large move down still. It's possible. And if we do go lower, I think the price will be fine. We zoom out, we look at this on a weekly time frame. You've got macro higher lows overall, right? This higher low right here, and even this higher low right here, we moved sideways for over a month. We moved sideways for months before getting that chicken, before moving up more, right? Here we are, moving sideways for months now. And we're probably going to see some recovery. If not, even if we move down, we could move sideways for longer. We could move down. We could pump from here, whatever. We're still getting this higher macro low. Okay, there's a lot of people who are looking for this trend line here, thinking that we're going to go down there. And maybe we do. Maybe we do. My thoughts would be we either find support above the trend line and leave people wanting, which makes sense to me, or if we get down here, we'll probably find support below the trend line. Because the trend line is not what dictates higher lows. This will still be a higher low than this, even if we go below the trend line. It's very common to do stuff like that. I mean, for example, here, we take this trend line. Where would the best time to buy be? It's below the trend line, not above it. Where would the best time to sell be? The best time to sell was above this trend line, all times. And actually right now, I haven't even drawn this trend line in so long. We're actually finding support at where this trend line was once. This is actually bullish, guys. It's actually very bullish here. And again, could we go lower? Sure, we could. But the lowest I'd give us would be about 0.002, maybe somewhere around there. Just above, just below, somewhere around there. It's completely possible OnyxCoin has found its low and that it doesn't go lower from here. Or that if it does, barely. Because we're right at the golden ratio. Consolidating around the golden ratio, and we likely see some recovery from here if we can get above this level and we can hold a higher low of support. We really start to look like we're turning this thing around. We really start to look like this is accumulation. And if this has been accumulation, if we start to really depict this as accumulation, the move we're going to be talking about is going to be a lot more than 1 cent. I can tell you that. It's going to be a lot more vibrant. We've seen the kind of vibrance in this range before that this next move could promote if we get this initial move. It's just a thought. It's just a long string of thoughts. And I do believe in time, lower, sideways, higher, whatever, we are going to go higher. We are going to see OnyxCoin above its last cycle highs. And I mean, just thinking about that, we can think, in the future, however far in the future, it could be over a year from now. But if we are to see new highs, the first target is 10 cents. The second target is 14 cents. The third target is 25 cents, which from here, all of those targets are anything from about a 28x to about a 69, almost a 70x. 28 to 70x, yeah. Crazy, crazy growth potential. And when that happens, that's probably not going to be our cycle finish. We will probably see higher prices than that even, as time goes on. From a low to high last cycle, low to high here, we saw an overall 72x. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something that was larger than that in this next cycle. This was kind of the proving grounds. Stick around during the bear market. We're developing, proving more. Macro higher lows, macro higher highs are still intact. Then I think this thing will break through new all-time highs. I don't think it's going to stop right at its all-time high level. I think it's going to break through there, and we're going to see something that does take this inevitably up to $1 or something more. And with that, I mean, we've got multi-100x potential here. If you like DeFi, you want to invest in DeFi, I think OnyxCoin is a special project. And I don't really have anything else to add other than that. Weekly RSI kind of sucks. It's in shambles, but so does the price action on an over-year basis. The MACD's trying to build, but it's not really doing much. Stochastics have been oversold for quite a long time. This is a very boring chart, but it's during these boring times that accumulation happens, right? It's during these boring times that accumulation happens. So there's a fly. Got to do karate. I think he likes my ring light. Where'd you go, fly? Sometimes if you're good, if you're vigilant, you could punch him in the face. I didn't actually punch him. I was just showing off my sick moves. But I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.